But let's talk about power right now, and that big power initiative that President Obama has launched. $7 billion to invest in the power sector in Africa. And I know for many of our viewers around the continent, it is a serious issue. But how will the money work out? What really will it do, and how much can it change? Well, I want to introduce someone who does know quite a bit about investment. Our guest today on Focus on Africa, Tony Elumelu, forgive me for that, Tony. It's nice to see you and welcome to Focus on Africa. Billionaire philanthropist and investor. The moment this was announced, we heard from your organization that you're going to back this as well. How much are you putting up?
The Heirs Holdings is committing to $2.5 billion into this Power Africa initiative. We are doing that because of the benefits and potential of power and electricity in Africa.
Tony, you know your numbers, and you know your numbers well. Is $2.5 billion enough? Is $7 billion enough? I mean, you come from Nigeria. We're familiar with the country. It has chronic power problems, and it seems as though $6 billion, $7 billion, $10 billion wouldn't be enough to solve those problems.
No, there are two things here. First is the Heirs Holdings. We are committing $2.5 billion investment.
Yes.
We already spent $300 million to acquire the biggest power plant in Nigeria. We want to double production, the generation capacity of that power plant by December this year, and that will spend about $1 billion to do all of this. And we want to actually take it to the installed capacity of 1,000 megawatts by next year. So all of this will take almost $1.5 billion. But we want to even do more. We want to acquire some independent power plants both in Nigeria and across Africa. We think that power, electricity, is key to unlocking the economic potential.
So I know for some of our viewers, just hearing the B's roll off your lips, the billions, the billions, the billions, one would argue that the resources are already available in Africa. Men like you have built success on the continent. Does Africa really need the United States? Do we need Barack Obama's initiative?
No, we need everyone. We need a partnership. That's the word. That's the new thing. What we're saying is that we don't need aid in Africa again. The aid we want is aid that will support private sector investment. We have private sector people, we have capital, but we also need expertise and capital from anywhere in the world. And America taking the lead in this manner, and President Obama in particular, this is a very, very positive and welcome development for an American president to come to Africa and not come to preach to Africa, but to come to Africa to promote trade and investment, especially in sectors that can actually catalyze the African economy like power. It's welcome. We want it. We want partnership across the globe. But we're saying that partnership has to produce the kind of economic impact that we desire at this point in time. Power is one of those.
Power is key. Billionaire philanthropist Tony Elumelu on Focus on Africa. Stay with us for a moment. I just want to change the conversation slightly and move on to another issue, another way in which America influences Africa. I think you could travel to any African city and find that young people in particular tend to look to the United States for an example, especially a cultural example. Is it any different here in Tanzania? My colleague Salim Kikeke has been finding out.
Whatever people here think about President Obama's visit, one thing is for sure. What's big in America is big in Dar. Why do you think basketball is becoming popular here in Tanzania?
Well, basketball kind of like disappeared for a little while, but now it's coming back. You know, the love for the game